All right. Thanks everyone for joining us for another storage meetup. This is number 45. I started counting last week, so yeah, we'll start keeping a count. But yeah, 45 of these. This is great. Glad you guys are on. I know some of you are probably not kind of feeling the hangover of the SSA show, or either one way or the other, or getting sick. I know I'm on the tail end of it, but ugh, that was fun. But thanks for taking the time, jumping on here for an hour for the storage meetup. This is very For this edition, it's very conversational. It's kind of free flowing, whatever is going on. I'll put some things in the comments to keep an eye on to stir the conversation, but very free flowing. So anything you have going on, wins, comments, questions, speak up, put in the comments, anything goes, kind of a
Jim, I
thing.
got to give you prompts for the meetup page, and I sent out a bunch of invites last night to people to get everybody to join that meetup page. I went through it last night with all the vendors you got on there, and it's a lot of work. Thank you very much for putting that together.
Yeah, let me hear. We'll take a few minutes here at the very beginning. I'll do a little announcements here. I'll show you. Share my screen.
Yeah, I sent out a bunch of ones last night, inviting people to the page. So
Dun, 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 dun. Let's see. So first off, I put together this. So now we kind of have like a home base for storage meetup stuff. It's nothing fancy, but it doesn't need to be fancy. We got everything on here that we need. Meet everybody here. So we got upcoming events. So it's all going to be here. And again, it's just storagemeetup.com. So you'll see it there. You'll see the countdown for the next one coming down the pipeline. Here we are today. Next week, we've got marketing. Then we'll do the community meetup. Week after that, we'll do the AI. That's kind of the flow of how this is going to go. So I didn't mean to rhyme. Speaking of which, the marketing workshop and the AI items that are coming up every other week, put in the comments. I make these things up very, I say last minute, but week of. I put it together because things are always changing. So any topics, anything you're having issues with, anything you want to make sure we kind of delve into, please put it in comments. I read those, I'll go through them. I'll try to make these things as very actionable as possible. So I make these things for you guys. We got some great guys next week. We got, what do we have? Tyler from, let's see, the storage agency. And then we got John from Storage IQ coming on. So again, it's just going to be kind of like a panel thing, just going really heavily deep on for marketing topics. And then the AI one, for now, it's me. I'll be having guests and
Yep.
stuff coming on as well, demoing things as well, and that kind of stuff.
hmm Hey Jim, I can talk a little about the AI stuff that I've been using if you want.
Yeah, definitely. Message me. We'll put you on there as well for sure.
Okay.
That's for those things. I really want to demo stuff. I don't want to just like, oh, this is cool. Check out AI. I want it demoed and so you can see it and really learn from them.
Okay. Yep.
So yeah, so definitely go to Storage Meetup, check it out. And while we're talking about it here, this kind of leads into the hub that we have. Admit everybody else. Get rid of that. So we have the marketplace. Got the storage marketplace. This is kind of an offshoot of what we're doing here. We always talk about vendors, who's using what's great out there, what's new. So I want to make a hub for everybody. So the storagemarketplace.com. You can check out vendors there. You can look by business need of want to increase my revenue, want to do some more operations more efficiently, look at my security. This is very new. And so I'm sure things are going to be, hey, where's my vendor? I'm not on here. Cool. Click here, list your business, let me know, and I'll throw you on there in 2 seconds. If you don't have an email address or websites up, if you're a vendor, just let me know. We'll get that updated. As a favor, and I'll put this in chat too here in a second, we're going to test this out too. The storage meetup, there I am. Click on vendor details. Doing the reviews. I think this is gonna be fun. So if you go in here, please give us a review on the storage meetup, what you're getting out of it. I'll reply back. I just want to kind of testing this on myself, doing the reviews and on the features before I have other vendors go on there and going, this doesn't work, this is BS. So I'll do it on me first. So check it out, storagemarketplace.com. Check out for storage meetup, give us a review. That would be very helpful. In fact, I'll put this in the chat right now. But no, thank you for acknowledging that, because yeah, I just want to have a nice, easy to functional hub. So if you look at it, cool. Give me any feedback, comments you want on it, because we can make changes pretty quickly on it. But yeah, I think it works. So thanks for bringing that up.
And I gotta tell you, you were a tremendous help with me launching mine with my Mooney Storage Solution. So it's been fun. It's been an interesting week trying to get some stuff done. So it's gonna be very cool.
They get some headway?
Yeah, I got I'm writing a couple one page press press release type things for different topics that I can focus on, like marketing sources, S source codes, and site link. I already got one almost finished for Sparefoot and how that's worked for us so well in the last couple of stops and how to maximize that. So I got a few I want to talk about because it's funny. I had a conversation with a gentleman in Vegas last week, and he was complaining that, and Corey Garrett, you'll love this. He was complaining, I'm not getting, I need more leads. I need more leads. And I'm not getting the leads I need to get from what I was previously getting. So I stopped and asked him, I said, well, what's your follow-up cadence for your ones you are getting? And he had nothing. He had no idea what I was talking about. I'm like, so do you need more leads, or do you actually got to work the leads you're already getting? And he stopped me and said, I don't know the answer to that. So he took my card, because of course he didn't have a card. It was amazing how many people didn't have cards or a contact or anything, and even a tap contact in Vegas to follow up with people. I took a picture of his badge, but trying to get a number from the badge is kind of hard. So
yeah, interesting. That's kind of funny. Just kind of just the basic questions, and it all falls apart after that.
Well, he was adamant he needed more inquiries, and we were talking marketing. I mentioned Corey, I mentioned Eva, and a couple other people that do help with the marketing product. But I stopped and said, "Well, how are you working the leads you're getting now?" And he had nothing. I'm like, "What's your follow-up cadence? When you make calls, what do you email, text, whatever?" And he goes, "Yeah, I don't know."
Yeah. That doesn't that conversation drive you crazy, Jim? Like you spent all that money to drive the traffic there, and if you don't have a follow-up program, you're just going to doom yourself every time.
Do you think
Hey, Matt Junkin, you need to turn the light on in your Eagles land. Got to have that thing proud right now, dude. There you go.
Do you think a lot of that just comes from people not utilizing the software? I mean, because seriously, any software now, you can put in leads and just use that, and as being part of your standard operating procedure. Every morning, you're just going through that lead list.
Well,
we had that conversation.
That's low hanging fruit, but
yeah, we had that conversation before, but even if they're not even putting the leads in,
well, that's what
Jessica
I mean.
knows, right? We went through all that shopping stuff before, like it has to be logged and then it goes through the system. But a lot of people don't even configure those drip campaigns, right? That follow-up program, they don't even get something set up. And so it's not that hard.
Dude, my favorite one, 2 years ago, last year, 2 years ago, I was doing a consulting job, and we were talking to a group of people, and I said to the Zoom call, was out in Washington. I think it was in Washington. We're talking about, lead follow up with the calls and all these things. And she goes, well, I'm not a used car salesman, so I don't like high pressure. So if they don't give me their name and they don't rent for me, it's their loss. I'm like, no, really, it's your loss, because they're walking out the door. They were there for a reason. Randy, you're laughing because it's true, right? Randy, how many stores have you shopped in the last year and a half?
So let me tell you, we just hired a new district, and the first thing we have that person do when we hire him, before anybody knows who they are, is he went and shopped his district. And I also have him shop competition nearby. So I had him go to Public Storage, had him go to Cube Smart, who I think does the best job when somebody walks in a store of any of the companies, myself included. Make a long story short, out of the 13 or 14 stores he went to, one person asked for his name but didn't insist.
So all his stores failed?
Yeah. Found people with the doors closed, because it's an inconvenience for customers to come walking in. It was, you got to shop your stores, and you have to do it with people who don't look like they're shoppers. You know, we give them the same scenario for every single store. Hey, my daughter's going away to college. I want to take her bedroom and turn it into an office. What do I need? And one person gave them a map and said, here, there's a couple units out there. Here's a map to the facility. You're going out and take a look at it yourself. It's eye-opening, right? Because they all know what they're supposed to do. And we tell them what they're supposed to do every day. But if it doesn't get in the system, they can't follow up on it. And it's shame on them, because what's going to happen is, you know what, if they don't want to get up off their rear ends, I'll go. I don't need property managers. I'll do it on my call center.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm such a big proponent of mystery shopping, whether you're using Carol Crindle's job or Dan Cosgrove with Mercantile Systems. I mean, and I said this before, and I'll say it again. If I shop in my organizations, when I had my stores, if I shopped your store and it didn't get logged into the software, no matter how well you did, it was an automatic 0. And I had one guy in Chicago 3 months in a row, he got a 0. I fired him. And guess what? That store went off like a rocket ship because they started inquiring, logging the leads. And imagine that, Randy, they called them back.
You're just being an advocate for more AI.
Well, you know what? We have AI, but they got to have their name and phone number in the system for the text messaging and the robocalls and the emails that go to the customer. And yeah, part of it is, if you incentivize a customer on a certain close percentage, they tend not to put somebody in unless they know they're going to rent. And you sometimes we're our own worst enemy. So I would take a look at your incentive programs to make sure that they can't be manipulated in a way that hurts your business. And just something to think about.
Yeah. Jim, you're right. I think the AI is coming, and I think the AI is going to benefit. I don't know if Shannon's on here or not. I didn't see her, but I think AI is only going to help with the call centers and people who are using call centers, that they can take the large part of the call and answer a lot of the questions and get them where they need to be, either send them the rental link or get them on that, and let the agents handle the more, I don't want to say tougher, but more, questions that are oddball questions, and let the people do what they do best and take care of the weird requests.
It's going to be fun. I mean, it was such a blur at SSA, but you could start seeing all the AI stuff everywhere. Last year, it seemed like it was highly topical, but not really the products to back it up. But this year, you could kind of see that the product started backing that up. Did you come across anything that looked interesting to you?
Dude, and again, I got to give a lot of props to the SSA for the whole conference. The hotel, I mean, I probably walked less this year than I ever had in the past because everything was closer. The only one thing, the drawback for me, was the trade show floor was split in two. And the one room was a little less traveled than the other. But I got to give, looking at all the technology out there, the two that jumped out at me the most were how much Spare Box has improved with their Ralpha tablets and their walkthrough process, and how much Notify has really taken feedback from operators to help build that product. And then a couple of the softwares do the same thing. Monument, Cubby, they're really taking quality feedback from the operators to make their products better. So I think there was a lot of collaboration going on this time, where networking was really important. And like Corey Ward, you and I passed a couple times on the floor. There are a lot of vendors out there who really wanted to, pick the operators' brains on how they can make their product better.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been refreshing to see that everybody's really, taking a more collaborative approach and really taking to heart a lot of the feedback that we've been giving them.
You talking about as far as things just working together with different
Oh,
software?
making sure that the features that they're offering are the features that we want or need, right? And so, it's one of those things. There was a challenge for a while in the industry where we weren't necessarily getting what we were seeking, and it was just really, there was a lot of frustration for a while. But now it feels like the vendors are really stepping up and responding well to the feedback.
Yeah,
I was impressed.
Because you also you start seeing a lot of operators scratching their own itch and they're making their own technology for their own operations and then providing it to the masses.
Mhm.
So those are the ones I like, made for operators by operators.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, think about it. Jess Johnson, you guys have an AI chat bot now, and Storable's got a new AI one with the Store Ed software that they're promoting right now. I thought I saw Holly on here somewhere, but there's a lot of things going on with that, and but they're taking a lot of feedback. And I know Jess, you were talking with Steve Lucas, and we were talking about it and what your guys' AI is doing for your websites.
Yeah, definitely chatbot functionality helps you remain open 24/7, obviously, because most of the call centers are going to cut off around 10 p.m. So if someone's so inclined to rent from you at midnight or later, they are able to through the chatbot features. It helps. And then it also has voice activation and optimization where you can talk to it. And we have future evolutions of the product coming that are really going to be pretty spectacular. So I'm excited about that one. Thanks, Jim.
And this, not to be self-promotional here, but I'll be self-promotional. That's kind of where like the storage marketplace kind of thing, because there's a lot coming. And I think it'd be great just to be able to be, here's a category, here's what it is, here's the vendors, and to be able to have some videos and audios and case studies and just having it there. Then if they want to continue the conversation, cool. Reach out to the vendors and go from there. But it'll be a nice central place for all this stuff because there's a lot coming down the pipeline here.
I'll be greedy as a vendor and just ask, as from Storable, what you want AI to do. Obviously, we want AI to talk to prospects and customers and convert them and give them their gate codes and, kind of be that extra manager. But like in a perfect world, if AI could do something for you, like what do you want AI to do for you?
Perfect world would be the bottom line is taking the action of being able to complete the rental, take the
Right.
payment.
So
The final end of the
Remove overlocks, clean storage units.
give
Robots
it
next
2 years.
generation.
You'll have a
be
$6,000 Tesla robot in 2 years, so they'll do that.
It would kind of be
Yeah.
cool if we could use AI to judge people's calls.
Yeah.
So right now, I gave a lot of feedback to Storable when I call your tech support or talk to your rep, but right now I'm using a bot that integrates with storage and it's working really well for me now. I'm very happy with it. It does like what I want it to do, and future iteration will take rentals and do what call potential does, which is outbound collections. So when it does that, then really I don't need a call center anymore. So.
Yeah, that's
Holly,
awesome.
I think he's right. Pushing the rental completion link over to get them hey, you're ready to rent here. Let me send you this link right now. That way they just have to click a few buttons and send it. I don't like when they redirect them back to the website to complete the rental process. I'd rather have them, okay, Holly, you're all set, you're ready. Here's your email address. I'm emailing you or texting this link right now. Click the button, fill in a few pieces of information with your credit card, and the unit's ready to go.
That'd be cool. I think it would be really interesting to have the AI like gauge the customer's emotional state and adjust what it has to say according to that.
That would be really interesting.
I'd say at least for now, the basics where no calls are missed. Converts leads into new customers, just gets that whole part, that, front end part down, that would be nice.
I use conversational AI on a daily basis, and it does pick up the emotions. Right. It can tell when someone's angry or doesn't like something, and it'll sympathize and empathize with them. Go, that sounds frustrating, because it can tell that the problem is negative, what the customer is saying. So it does do that.
It's like conversational intelligence, Fraser, right? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, the first product that's launched with the Patchwork Labs is conversational AI. And so I use that, and takes 100% of my phone calls. I was even going through, catching on some, AI phone calls last night. And it's crazy how much is not escalated. It just will talk with have the conversation with the tenant and solve their problem. Or it may be a simple thing that's not really needed it, and they can just escalate a customer ticket that can be taken care of later. I have multiple people that just move out with the AI. AI goes, hey, here's the things that you need to do. And they're like, yep, done that. They're like, great, I'll pass it on the team that's moved out. And then from there, when I see that, ticket, I'll just send out, like, I'll process the move out, our team and stuff, do the physical, actual digital, right? Click the buttons, move them out, send them our email, that's like, thanks for renting with us and that kind of thing. So it does a lot right now, and more features are coming out this month. So kind of like to your guys' points, doing the payments, doing the full rental flow, that's on track to go live by the end of the month, to where it'll start and finish the whole entire thing.
Wow.
Hey, Jim Ross, did you know we have a karaoke all-star on screen right now with Jennifer from All Purpose? I was on the one bus with her when she was rocking out on the karaoke microphone.
Oh goodness. Not well, but hi. Hi everyone.
Well, what was the numbers? Like Bohemian Rhapsody? What were you singing?
Oh my gosh, what was it? There were so many.
Bohemian
Rhapsody did make an appearance though.
We had Ann Ballard singing karaoke on the bus.
That was a great crew.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I just put it in chat because this talk about it's not going to go away. It's just going to get louder and louder, and I'll be focusing on the AI ones as well. Any vendors, anyone that's doing with the AI conversational voice agents?
I can give you a number, Jim. You can go test it if you want.
Yep, I was gonna say, send me a number. I would love to be able to be like, just a showcase, and I'll do like, here are the case studies. Like, I'm calling for my gate code. I'm calling, want to run a unit, and I'll just kind of, not say compare, but just just whoever's doing it, just kind of see what that's like, and maybe we'll do a whole session just on that, just as everyone can listen to how it's interacting with the different vendors and different bots.
Jim, I know Unity teamed up with OpenTech. There was a press release at the conference. Unity, because one of the things when I was talking to them about their AI chat, and you could tell it was very frustrating when the person on the phone got to a point where the AI couldn't help them, and they kept saying representative. Yeah. They really didn't have any place to send them to. And now with that partnership with OpenTech, they're going to a live body. And Holly, how is yours going to interact? Is it going to go into call potential with yours, or how's it going to go?
So before the acquisition, Call Potential was working on like the conversational voice AI. And I think as the AI bot was getting integrated into storage, it kind of took a little bit of a back burner. But the AI integrates directly into storage, the chatbot does. So everything is pulling live inventory. I'm sure you guys probably have API integrations with, whatever your property management software and does the same, but that way, like, you're looking at your data, you're not having to train it over and over like it's a live type inventory situation. But the voice AI, I think, is so interesting. It's come a long way, even in just like the last 2 years since we were debuting it at Call Potential Labs. I find it so fascinating that it's made so much progress so quickly. And I would love, Jim, like you said, to do an AI showcase, because again, like some other AI things we're working on in the background are like reporting, where you can ask your property management software about your data and analytics in the background, and it will talk back to you instead of having to know what report to look for. And but yeah, I would love like whatever you guys are using just to see and learn, because I'm a AI enthusiast, not an expert, but an enthusiast.
Well, and that's the whole point. Be enthusiastic and be curious. That's
for
the
sure.
whole point of any of that.
Embrace it.
Yeah, totally. Speaking of which, again, just real quick, kind of led me into it. Anyone that wants to join right after this call, I've done it for 2 years now. Right after this call, I join it's called the AI Learning Lab. We used to do like these AI open office hours, kind of like we're doing right now, but it's a smaller group. It really is. And we show tools and things like that, but most of the time we're just talking about AI and the impacts it's going to have and all that kind of stuff. So it looks like this. I'll show you real quick, and I'll put it in chat.
I tried to join that last time, and I had a hard time I couldn't get in. It wouldn't let me join.
Maybe because you have a crappy connection. I can't hear you.
Probably.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, it's right here. I'll send you the link, but it's just it's fun. It's something to kind of expand your mind a little bit on what's going on out there. You get people that are very newbies to people that are very high up on tech and everything in between. So it's a great place to go, ask questions, learn. I'll put that chat in the link in chat here in a second. But that's right after we end here, so in 30 minutes.
So Nisha, I saw you're on here. What was your big takeaway from conference last week? We had a couple good conversations there as well. Any big things for you guys on your end?
I had a lot of facilities that I currently have that came to me and talked and let me know like what they like about us. Our flood program has just been incredible, so everyone loves that lately. That's our big takeaway this year.
Are you still seeing a lot of operators that aren't making insurance or protection a requirement? And now we had a conversation with somebody about upgrade opportunities, and I was on the SBOA one yesterday. We were talking about upgrades, and they were asked the question. We were all asked a question about what one thing we wished about insurance and protection we talked about, and my comeback was, a couple years ago, I wish we would have done a better job at getting people to get the right value of the protection plan or insurance for their unit versus getting the base model. Because when you have that incident, when we all know you're going to have it, it's not an if and when, and you only had the base model one, and they got a 10 by 30 storage unit, they got $2,000 in coverage, doesn't do them a lot of good. So I think one thing we talked about yesterday was educating our owners and operators that and we were doing a pretty good job in our last round on our online, that the value of we recommended the protection plan based on the size of the unit. And we started seeing more and more people take the upgraded protection plan based on the size and value of stuff they're putting in a unit.
Yeah, lately we've been telling our facilities to just offer the $5,000 in coverage, because 1,000, like my phone is more than 1,000, so 1,000 is not going to cover anything really. So we do try to push to $5,000, so they're going to get more in their value for that. And then we have no sub limit, so the fact that they're going to get the 5,000, they have $5,000 in damage, it really they love. So, and then no one's requiring. We were trying to get more people to require, but I don't understand why the fear of requiring insurance. But they need to require. I personally, with everything that's happening in the break-in, I don't get why we don't require.
Right. Yeah, I just did a training consulting job up in Maine, and we started talking about, I asked the manager, how do you offer, they were doing insurance, or how do you offer insurance? Because we talked about, insurance, and I said, okay, let's try this. And we were talking about 10 by 10 storage unit. I said, okay, Nisha, with that 10 by 10 storage unit, we're going to recommend a $3,000 insurance plan for 16, whatever it was, for a month. And if they don't say anything, just keep right on going, right? You don't stop. Now you got the policy. But if they squawk at you, okay, Nisha, well, hey, you have to have some kind of coverage. My base model is 2,000 for 10 or 12, whatever. Will that work? I'll take that. Really, we didn't do them any favors. We got them a policy where if half the time they take the upgraded one, everybody else wins.
Yeah.
So it's, as my mom used to say, it's not what you say, it's how you say it sometimes.
Yeah, I've been telling my facilities more to just add the rental rate in the cell. So, or the insurance into the sales page. So the whole time you're talking about the sales page of this amount, and then at the end you're saying it includes $5,000 in coverage. That way the tenant kind of thinks it's just part of the package. But if the tenant really knows, then they're like, okay, you could remove the insurance, but at least you're offering that in the whole sales pitch. It's beneficial.
If you bundle your price, if you ask Scott Zucker, he'll tell you to stop doing that all day long, because you can make people take insurance, but you can't force them to take your insurance. So you can make them provide it, but if you start forcing people to make yours, you get yourself.
Hey, Randy,
well, you're not really forcing it. You're letting them know in the end that.
But the other thing right. But when you bundle a price, if I'm $100 for a 10 by 10 and everybody in my market's 100 and I'm quoting 115, I automatically give myself a price difference that I don't want. You can assume that they're going to take it, and you say, hey, the price is $100, but always keep it as a separate line item. Just my suggestion. I've been doing this for a long time. I've seen a lot of people get in trouble. I tell you, if you're on a tenant protection plan rather than tenant insurance, one of the things that's been really successful for me is I've always had my stores have always had a difficult time selling somebody a 5x5 for $30 a month, and then wanting to give them $15 coverage on top of it. So I've put them on $1,000 plan. If you're under 100 square, or it's actually under 50 square feet, for $9 you can get $1,000 worth of coverage. It would greatly increase your penetration. But in tenant insurance, you can't do that unless you file a rate, but you can do it in protection plans.
Yeah. So Randy, go back to your shopping earlier. Of the stores that got shopped, how many of them offered, when they were offering selling the units, how many of them told you, hey, we require insurance, but if you bring your declaration page and we'll take care of you?
Well, which is another issue, right? You say we require insurance and you tell them why they need to take yours, versus saying, hey, we require insurance, but if you have homeowners, just bring it in. It's all in the presentation. It's all in the presentation.
Well, it's definitely if you
100%.
say it, because you can easily show your homeowners or renters, but if something happens, you're gonna file a $2,000, $5,000 deductible. You're not gonna get nothing back.
Justin
Exactly.
just made a really good point in the chat about that, and I can tell you, I had that several years ago. We had a fire in Maryland. The guy he used his homeowner's policy. He had a $5,000 deductible on his homeowner's policy, so he got nothing because the lease said $5,000. And actually, he got a rate increase because he filed a claim. I think, Dusty, that's where you were headed with that, right?
No, it's so true. And if you just have tenant insurance, nothing's gonna increase. So you're just gonna stay flat at what it is. You're not
From
gonna use your
homeowners
homeowners
or
or
renters.
renters.
Correct, yeah. And it just does make sense to file a claim for such a small amount. And then also on a homeowner's policy or a renter's policy, contents coverage is less than what's actually on the policy. It's a percentage off of that. So you might not even gain anything much at all off a homeowner's or renter's policy too.
Yeah.
Keep going. I'm answering some chats here.
Okay.
We experience break-ins quite often, and one of the things that we keep running into is like State Farm. I'm actually a State Farm customer, and unless they add on the policy to their storage plan, it doesn't really cover anything. The book tells them that it only limits to like $2,500, but then there's a $2,500 deductible, which totally negates it completely from storage. But the agent won't tell you that. So like they're all day we hear people, oh, we have State Farm, we have State Farm. And I'm like, well, call your agent and talk to them. Yeah, and then they come back and they're like, yeah, you're right. Like, I can't believe they didn't tell me that. And I'm like, yeah, you're not really covered. They're just saying you are.
Crazy. Oh, but to Nisha's point, I mean, it's even, God forbid you have a claim, but with here there's no deductibles, there's no warranty. And I can tell you, when we had that fire, at the time it was probably Bader, I think. They had somebody come out on site with a checkbook and their computer. They're writing checks to everybody. They took care of them, whatever it was done. And it just makes life so much easier that everything's part of the process and everything's covered together. Sherry Miller, you guys have your own. I don't know if Stacy's on here, but Stacy, you guys On the Move has their own securely. I forget. I've lost track of the names, girl.
They all sound the same after a while. Yeah, Securely. So we were actually the ones who brought tenant protection to the United States. I don't know if y'all knew that, but
I did know that. Yeah,
we provide the training program and also offer 70% of the proceeds back.
Very cool.
Hey Jess, I got a question for you, Jess Johnson. Just saw you think about the Florida thing for the managers. Go ahead. I'm curious. I have some follow-up questions. I'm curious about it, but tell us what's going on with the managers thing in Florida.
So if anyone on this call ever says that Florida does not have enough events throughout the year, please call me because we have a ton of events. And this is a new event that we've introduced from the board of directors. It is going to be taught by Dave Cooper, Mark Poole, and some of our other board members. I think Dave Deems, Scott McLaughlin from Century. It's a day event. I think it's from 9 to 3 on September 30th. It is mainly for managers. So any management level, property, area, district, regional, etc. We really want to hone in on the managers and give them some additional training. It's limited to 50 tickets. We are already at 35, so there are only 15 left. There are vendor Sponsorship opportunities. If anyone's a vendor and would like to support Florida, we would absolutely appreciate that. We do have a webinar coming up in October that is completely free for Florida members. If you're not a Florida member, you can pay $20 and attend that. We're going to be talking about tax strategies, cost segregation, and the big beautiful bill and how that impacts our industry. So we have some really good speakers on that one. And then I think our last, we have an owner summit. I almost forgot the owner summit. Oh, Holly, don't tell Leslie. We have an owner summit in October. That one's driven for more, well, we've changed the name actually. It's Executive Summit. But more probably driven for like owner participation. Again, there's vendor sponsorship and opportunities there as well. That is in Delray Beach at a beautiful resort called the Opal. I think we're at the Opal still. God, I really need to look at our notes. So I'm going off memory here, y'all.
You're right. It's Opal.
We're all in trouble
Am I
now.
right? Okay.
Yeah,
Woo!
it's right
I'm
on the
not the
beach. It's
president. I'm not
gorgeous.
the up to Joel Patterson or my other board members that have their head on straight and not me. But anyway, we have that one in October. And our last event for the year, we're testing because we watched GASA do such a great job with their holiday gala. We have a holiday gala in early December. It's an evening event. That one is strictly meant to come enjoy, dress up, enjoy the holidays together and network together. No educational value at that one, but I think networking value is even more important than educational value. So that rounds out the year in Florida. And then Michigan, our annual conference is coming up in November. That is at the MGM in Detroit. Again, vendor sponsorship, speaking opportunities, things of that nature are all available. So you can visit floridassa.org or selfstorageofmichigan.org or selfstoragemichigan.org. Again, I should know these things. But that's my association plugs for you for the two associations I sit on the boards of.
No, well, I just want to bring it up because you don't see too many things about from managers.
Yeah.
It's just, it sucks. But I know why, because it's so hard to get them to the event because they gotta take off work. It's that catch-22. You want to get more education. You want to, provide this networking and that stuff for education for the managers, but that requires them to take off, and then who's going to cover? And the owners don't let them go. That's hard. So when I saw that, I'm like, cool. That's great. That you at least you got.
Yeah, it's our first one, and we're super
Oh.
pleased with the response. Like I said, we
Yeah.
only have 15 tickets left. Because trust me, Jim, we have that same fear as a board of directors going
Yeah.
like, yeah, we're pulling managers away. But we even do that for like our lunch and learns because those are typically from like 11:30 to 2:30. But if you care about your business, you'll figure out a backup plan. And hey, here's where automation can come into play. Put some automation in. Your managers can come to these events.
Well, that's again, and then even stuff like this, owners and that, invite your
Yeah.
managers on this kind of stuff. I mean, in person is great, virtual is great, but just for this kind of, and that's how they get better. Especially if you want to have a manager that's going to grow with your company, you got to give them some education and kind of a playground of what is going on in the industry, not just so focused on what's in front of them at their site with their 300 units. So
Yeah.
it's vitally important, but I get it. It's hard to get to.
And I mean, it's honestly a learning opportunity for us as the board and owners of self-storage. That's the forefront of your business right there as your manager. So I can't wait to hear from them what they're experiencing at their locations because they live, eat, and breathe it every day more than most owners out there do. So
I would
I
love
think
to hear.
we're going to learn more from them than them from us, maybe, but we'll see.
I was gonna say after it's over, I'd love to hear show and tell report back, kind of like just how it went or what their feedback was or what questions they had, just because that's very important. Because
Yeah,
one
happy
thing
to
for
do
us,
that.
we kind of talk, we're talking higher levels of operations, but it begins and ends with the manager on site. They're doing all this, so you
Well,
got to
Jim,
get feedback from them.
Dave Cooper and I are we're going to be in Georgia, South Carolina together in October. They're having I know Stacy Maxwell's part of this as well, but Dave and I were back and forth about what kind of session we want to do, and it's a strictly for the managers again, and we're having a strictly ask the expert session, and we're going to have 3 or 4 canned questions, but we really want to get the managers asking us questions. What can we do to help them? Because a lot of time we go to these sessions and there's a panel discussion or a session outline, and managers got a question but don't pertain to that, so sometimes they don't want to ask. So we're going to have an hour of just open Q&A. Where, I mean, I think we got 6 canned questions we're going to have, but we're hoping that it's just going to take off and just have a life of its own and see how it goes. And Georgia and South Carolina were excited that we kind of came with this idea. Let's just have an open Q&A for the managers. What do they want to hear? What do they want to talk about? Because like you said, they're the ones running these stores every day. And sometimes we talk about sessions that might not pertain to what they want to talk about.
Yeah, I'm all for that. The more education we can do directed toward for managers and that, or even more just communication, even from like the regional managers and the owners, explaining why the changes, why we're doing this, the impact it's having on your business. We're doing this for you to make your life easier and your job easier. Just having that communication of why we're doing what we're doing.
So Jim, we did the manager session in Vegas. I don't know who can see this, right?
That's cool.
I had the 6 that was signed the shirt. And one of the questions we asked the group at the end was, you had Sue Haviland, Carol Crindle, Stacy Maxwell, Sarah Beth DeFazio, myself, and Dave Cooper up there. And one of the questions was, which one of us was or wasn't a site manager when we started in this industry? And the answer was we all were. And up there we had 172 years of storage experience. And a lot of us worked multiple years at the site level. You did, a lot of us did. And that's important to have that mentality with the managers.
Tim Reba is calling.
Funny story.
Yeah, again, this is a reminder from 2 weeks ago. If you're gonna have a word call or whatever, mute yourself, please. That was yeah. I don't want to have a repeat of 2 weeks ago when someone was bitching and moaning about a customer. Oh, played the whole thing out. It was good for a laugh, but a little embarrassing. So yeah.
That was a crazy one. That was a crazy one.
That was kind of funny, actually.
The whole day was a hot mess, I swear.
Our humor for the day, right?
No, that's how it goes. So
because then that's the day we all started off as Jim Ross.
Yeah.
The whole thing was just a cluster, you know what, the whole point. So yeah, that's how it worked. Speaking of which, the naming thing, I put it in the chat. You don't have to do it now because we're on the tail end of it, but I think it would be kind of important. The more people that are getting on here, I think it helps if you want to rename yourself, your name / the company you work with. It does kind of helps when people are scanning and looking at faces, kind of help put the face with the name with the company. So don't have to, but I think it's nice. It's easy to see that way. That idea got sparked from everyone being called Jim Ross. So see, it all works out. It all plays off each other.
Corey, you should put your marketing efforts together and get us all masks we can wear. We can all be Jim Ross one day.
Oh, that'd be.
You don't want that.
Or we could all just, just turn the cameras off and have our little face image. We can just all switch it over to Jim Ross.
All right, there's your April Fool's joke. All right.
Halloween's coming up. We could all do it for Halloween.
Oh God, no. No, thank you. Not gonna happen.
Jim, we really should have, as we get close to Halloween, a couple of years ago when you were at the SBOA, we did that Halloween one, the scary event one where we all started talking about some of the stories we went through. Oh my God, that was hysterical. I think we should do something right now around Halloween, Jim. Have
I love that.
Not the horror stories, but just, oh my God, this,
We're
That
actually
was really fun.
on Halloween, aren't we? The 31st is a Friday, isn't it?
Yes.
It is, and TSSA has that conference that day, but yeah, it's on a Friday.
Cool. Well, there you go.
That'd be cool.
Horror stories. I could do the whole hour, frankly, and just be like fireside with my stories. But yeah, we'll have fun. This has happened just literally Monday. Not a big horror story. There was no death involved, but stupid dump truck got out the dumpster, pulled back out of the gate, and didn't go straight. He went like this and ran over not only the bollard and the keypad, he knocked everything over. At least they admitted to it. It was all on video and they're paying for it, but $4,000 later, it's always something. I know we're all in the industry, but I hate gates. Oh my gosh. I know you got to have it, but I hate every single gate out there. There's always, doesn't matter what it is, something goes wrong. People hit it. It just drives me nuts.
Talk about
had
gates.
to
Who
put
actually does PM maintenance on their gates on a regular basis? I know we did. We were always out there, adjusting the chains, moving the chains. Once a quarter, we were out there, inspecting the gates and making sure they were being taken care of. I couldn't tell you. I mean, we actually took took the cover off, and there was a wasp nest in there, Jim, that was like huge. We all went running because like, oh my God. So gates are horrible. Olivia's laughing because I know that's she's probably seen something like that.
Well, no, so I have my after hours emergency line, so I just forward my calls so I have them. And I got so sick of people calling me and being like, your gate is stuck open. So I wrote it on a sign and I plastered it in my window. I was like, if it is a gate related problem, do not call me. I will fix it the next day. I'm like, it is not an emergency. If you have the proper lock, you're fine. But I get it.
Maybe some better PM maintenance on your gate would stop it from opening and closing. Actually, it was funny. We see more problems with gates with the reflectors when it rains or misty. We actually, one of the guys I work for, actually Jim Del Sorda from Automated, showed us how to build a cover for the reflector in the photo cell to that way eliminate some of that. But the one time we did that, it was in such a rural area, it became covered with cobwebs and spiders.
Spray it with Rain-X. It'll be right off, and you won't get any frost. That's the best. Just spray it with Rain-X.
A couple times a year too.
Our issue isn't so much the mechanics of the gate, it's the people who continuously crash into the gate. We have had a couple of properties where somebody doesn't wait for the gate to go all the way up and they just start driving through and then crash into it. We no sooner get it fixed, and we all know it takes like 12 weeks to get a gate fixed nowadays if you're having to replace it. And then we no sooner get it fixed and it happens again. So we are having some trouble with people actually learning how to drive on a self-storage property, which we didn't have this problem 15 years ago, but I think everybody's driving skills just continues to go downhill. So if anybody's got suggestions on how to control traffic, actually like waiting for the gate to open, I am all ears.
I wish I did. That'll be part of the show and tell on Halloween. But the last one I had is a video of, again, we tried everything, extending how long it was going to stay open for, allowing more time to go through. But even, of course, it has the triggers, when they're going over it, it'll pop back open. But we had people, the last one, they were in a big U-Haul van, stayed open for 30 seconds. They're just sitting there like, okay, you gonna go? And as the gate started coming down, she just guns it, trying to beat it. So the trigger didn't have time to trigger to go back up, and she just clipped the gate and took the whole thing off, and she just drove off. But what sucks is the insurance. I tried going through the insurance, and there's a different level. I have her personal insurance, but she rented it through Home Depot. So with their insurance, they were fighting it and not providing the contract. Long story short, we had to eat the cost because I could not get any insurance company to pay it. Just sucks. Yeah, there's always stories like that.
Yep.
Someday we'll just have like laser beams or something like that. I don't know.
I will give U-Haul credit for one thing, that they do pay up when their trucks hit our gates in our buildings.
Yes.
If you got the truck number and you got video, they will gladly pay you to fix that stuff because it happens all the time. But as long as you get the truck number and go after U-Haul and not the customer, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, it's crazy that it's actually like a relief when it's a U-Haul truck. If it's somebody's personal car, that's the challenge because like Jim was saying, they're either you find out their insurance is lapsed or they just want to fight you. But U-Haul's always been pretty good with their claims department. So kudos to U-Haul for that.
That's because U-Haul got sued for when was it? Like late 2000, like 2008, 2010, they got sued for not properly renting with insurance. So now what they do is on the back end, anybody that rents, they put their own insurance on, even if you have yours, and they just don't charge you for it because it all just pans out in the end. But yeah, we used to do U-Haul and they got nailed for that real big in Vegas. Like Clark County went after them even. so I know it was like nationwide.
Do you have a site in Vegas?
We have several. We used to own Life Storage, and now we
Oh, Shield. Yeah, I see it.
yeah, Shield Storage.
Yeah. How's, just curious if you don't mind me asking, how's occupancy treating you this summer?
Certain areas are really well. Others are a little bit more overpopulated than other.
Okay. Yeah.
A couple of management companies kind of shoved in an extra space, opened up a little bit more than they probably should have. So like North Las Vegas is a little bit more tighter than the other side, but we have a location over in Southern Highlands that's doing really, really well. But yeah, the other places are struggling, like 80s, like low 80s.
It's just, it's a certain pocket. I mean, it's the same old thing, location, but
It is.
it's a certain pockets. I have the same thing in sites in Vegas, and
Public Storage opened up over on Craig Road too, so that kind of like hurt us because they were leasing up. They were giving units out for like $13. It was insane. They still are. I think it's like 23 for like a 10 by 10 at one point. I was like, come on, guys.
when are they hitting people with the rate increase?
Honestly, I don't know. Public Storage is a little bit more lenient than Extra Spaces. We get runoff from the 2 Extra Spaces because they do that. They do the rental and then instant rate increase. So you get people that $60, $70 rate increase on a $50 unit. They come in screaming and we're like, oh yeah, here, move in.
How can we target? Okay, the marketers out there, we got to figure out a way we can. I don't know if it's a geofence or what, but target all the customers for these places to just be like, come on over as soon as you get hit. We'll take care of you.
Right.
Okay. That's
U-Haul had a thing going on for a while too, where they were giving people like a free unit if they rented a truck. They still may.
Yeah.
But then they were, the same month that they moved in, they were automatically sending the rate increase to them for like double. So they'd expect like this $110 bill for their 10 by 10 or whatever. And then the second or third, well, actually it'd be like the third month, they all of a sudden it would triple in price. Yeah, we saw that a lot a couple of years ago. I think they've slowed down on that though.
See, I didn't go to that session, but I heard from a few people that at the SSA when they had the head honchos, you know, Extra Space and Public and all that, they're on the stage, kind of complaining, oh, they're coming after us, or they're coming after us for us raising our price. Like, you did it to yourself. You're the ones that started this.
What I don't get is, as hard as they're hammering with the rate increases like Extra Space, if you go look at their Google reviews, not a mention. And then meanwhile, we have us, like, I think I do all of our revenue management for our company. So it's like every now and then there'll be a $50 or $60, but I try to keep it a little bit more lenient, especially now that like people are struggling. And I still think we're a little bit more aggressive than most people, but we're talking like $20 rate increases on like a 10 by 30. And we still get people giving us like 1 stars, 2 stars on Google. Meanwhile, you have Extra Space that's hitting people for 50%. Nothing. I'm like, are you guys buying your Google reviews or something? How are you getting rid of these?
I don't know if you've been on their website lately, but they put a disclaimer up that says prices listed reflect a 40% discount.
Oh,
they have that banner running throughout when you start to look at their
really
website. Yeah, it's new. It's only been there for a short time.
The banner on their website? Is that what you said?
I know in California.
Yeah. As you go through and look at units,
okay.
after every 2 or 3 units, they have a thing that runs across that says prices posted reflect a 40% discount.
Yeah, California just passed that law for like hotels and basically any place that does, leases or 30-day rentals, and you have to reflect the actual price in your advertising. So if you put like, oh, units 50% off or whatever, and you only list the 50% price, that's their monthly rate. Like they can sue you.
But you did hit on an interesting point though about the reviews. I know if the average mom and pop did those kind of things, they'd get hammered.
Yeah. I mean, go look at the reviews. It doesn't make any sense. It's because like we're surrounded by Extra Spaces and we hear their customers all the time and they're moving in, and I'm just like, how do they not get blasted for that?
There's a conspiracy theory there somehow, but there's a way there's got to be a way. They're scrubbing it. They have a relationship with Google. I don't know, but there's obviously something, because otherwise you'd see tons of reviews that are blasting them.
Definitely.
Yeah, I've heard theories, but I won't even bring it up right now. But
I know a couple of.
Definitely got to be a way. I don't know.
there's the Chinese like Google Farms that you can get into, but those are just like extra reviews. They're not scrubbing the site, so that's like a whole different thing.
Yeah, and I know we're gonna talk about this on next Friday's marketing meetup. That they've, speaking of extra space, there's some new features on their Google Business Profile that we've only seen them and like 2 other portfolio companies have. That's a little, I forget what it says, like
Book,
schedule time or something like that.
book and schedule.
Okay,
Book
there
and
you go.
schedule. Really, 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 really driving me crazy.
Yeah, because we can't figure out heads or tails how they got it.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So, but we're going to talk about it just so everyone's aware that, hey, they're playing favorites.
So inside of their Google My Business page, they can actually book and schedule like Yelp right to the Google.
Yeah, so they've got it set up, and we're just all scrambling trying to figure out how they've done it. Let me see if I can show you real quick. Actually,
That's not like a call to action thing that they have, like, because I know that Google
no,
has
it's a real different thing. Let me pull one up.
We got 3 minutes, so go ahead.
All right, I'll pull it really fast because I know what market is showing up.
I'll have to get my marketing person on that.
Jim Ross, don't forget to take your picture.
Selfie, I will. Camera's on in the meantime, people.
Right? Oh, camera's on. All right. So let me just turn my screen real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
So you can see on Extra Space now, they've got this book online.
Oh,
if you do your own link for book online,
yeah,
it will not show that at all. I've tried.
No, you're absolutely right. It doesn't.
Right. And then if you do same thing if you do it in the local pack.
They got someone in Google doing stuff for them. They have
yeah,
to.
so you'll see in the local pack now they've got this new schedule button.
Oh.
Must be nice.
I just saw a LinkedIn post about that from someone in our industry and basically said there's something you can do in the back end to schedule it with your booking page.
Yeah.
Like it's a heavier lift, but
John actually, who's going to be on the marketing
next Friday,
next week, he's the one that posted it. I want him to share the information because I really want to try it.
Yeah. Oh, perfect. I'll be here next week. I was messaging him on LinkedIn too. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Yeah. I'm like, and he's like, let me know if you can get it to work because they've seen it, they're trying it, but I think we're still having some issues where it's not.
We're still in the testing phase. Nothing's been like, do this and this is the result. It's
okay.
Still, we're still figuring it out, but I just want everyone to be aware of this crap. So that's why we're talking about it.
Yeah, he learned the secret sauce.
Right. But anyway,
that's part of the show and tell. We're in it, so we're here to showcase what's up. So, all right, selfie time. You got 1 minute. Cameras on, people. All right, I gotta do 2 of these because we got enough people on here. I gotta do it 2 times. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. One more. Yeah. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Perfect. All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll do this again next week for the marketing meetup. In the meantime, go to storage marketing or storagemeetup.com. Check out the site. Give me any feedback on that. Hopefully it's all working for you. And then anyone that wants to join the AI office hours, I put the link in chat. You got 1 more minute to look at that and click it. And I'll meet you over there. Otherwise, thanks again for taking hour out of your time on this Friday. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, everybody.
It's been a long week. I need to
Bye, guys. Everybody get to feeling better.
Yeah, get some rest.
I got my coffee. I'm good. All right. Take care, guys.
If that's all it took, wouldn't that be nice?
I'm easy. All right. Take care.
See ya. Bye.